the 5 and 5 Street program, North Park, and identified immediate system upgrades to our utility infrastructure. In addition, I know Councilwoman Leonard mentioned that the 5 and 5 Street program is a multi-factor project. It also includes sewer in that as well. I know you mentioned water, but there's a sewer component as well with that. So these were items that we looked at. Our public engagement event with residents provided input on roadway maintenance, utilities, and amenities. It was interactive, like I mentioned, with the online survey. And we held true to a calendar-driven process, and anything that we can share, we've tried to share openly with the public, and have invited numerous engagement opportunities. The final budget reflects everything that we've worked on over the past 8 to 9 months, and I know that there are room for improvement, and we've made some ideas to make it even more transparent for next year, and we hope to have a good turnout with participation. It would make things easier. Analysis, a lot of this is you've already heard tonight. Again, I'm not going to go through each one of these because I think we've already heard most of this, but the community feedback that we did receive did support parks. Downtown improvements was high priority, and also our long-term quality of life investments. So North Park was high on the list, along with our water infrastructure program. So we did feel good with the feedback that we got, that information did align with our CIP and our big ticket items that we're looking to fund into the future. I do want to touch base a bit on our new policy on the 25% reserve in our fund balances. We've done a projection out through 2029, revenues in, expenses out, fund balance, trying to keep everything at least a 25% balance in there. That is a GFOA best practice of municipalities. So that is something that we want to maintain. And if by any chance that our reserves drop below in any of our funds below 25% of the operating expenses, we work really hard and quickly to recoup those balances. There are a few funds that we do not do this on that don't make sense. So not every single fund has that policy, especially if it's a reserve fund or just a library fund per se has its in and out. So
but that has an impact on our bond rating.
Yes, it does.
Are there reserves being in place is a solvency issue when we're issuing debt.
Yes. And our latest bond call and our latest rating, we did supply them with our newest policy, which helped our interest rate, I believe, at the last issuance that we had. So that is something that looks favorable upon bond rating agencies. Also, instead of our funds, if it does go over the 25%, we have strategically planned to build those reserves out to 2029 to pay for debt service that's coming online to help mitigate any sort of mill levy or tax increases at those times. So we're working really hard to have a balanced budget. When we have a chance to transfer to reserve funds, we do that so we can build up some funds to pay for debt that's coming down the road. Financial considerations. This is a consolidated revenue and expense chart by fund. You will see the revenues on one side and expenditures on the other, and these are the funds that we work on or we have in our system. Anytime that you see an expenditure exceeding your revenue column, let's say in the general fund is set at 7.2 million in revenue and 7.6 in expenditures. That does mean we are using up some fund balance, but a calculation again has been taken to take into consideration the 25% fund balance reserve. So some of our funds had more than that, so we're able to utilize some of those funds, fund balance in that instance. So overall, we expect over all of our funds for the city to total $17,476,600 in revenue, and our total expenditures for all funds is $17,283,806. Financial considerations continued. This is a consolidated major revenue and expenditure by category. I wrote this out to show you these are the typical categories of revenues and how they relate percentage-wise to the total, and then our expenditures in the different categories. This isn't by fund, this is for all the city put together, and you can see those breakouts right here. I don't know if anybody has any questions on that. Consolidated fund balance table. This shows our beginning fund balance estimated at the beginning of 2026. We obviously had to do a projection through the end of this year. This is where we begin at the beginning of the year. 2026 projected change to have an ending fund balance at the end of the year. So you can see just a tad bit growth, about 192,000 for all funds, but I wanted to consolidate this so you could see it in a large picture. But each one of these funds has an authority on its own. The financial impact of our property tax mill increase that we're proposing on a $300,000 home, and this has been brought up this evening already as well, but in 2025, when we raised our mill 6 mills, the annual city tax went up about $205.69 in 2025. Again, this is on an average $300,000 home. This is mill levy only. This doesn't reflect any increase in your valuation. In 2026, those 2 mills will increase your tax bill an additional $69. 2027, if we propose in next year's budget process an additional 2, that's what we're projecting as well. And 28 through, we haven't done anything past 2030, so we don't have any mill increase projected. Will be good to get through there. I guess we could run this out to the rest of our lives, but I don't know how accurate that would be. So, legal considerations. The Kansas budget law compliance budget has been prepared in accordance with KSA 979-2925. The balanced budget adopted for all applicable funds. The revenue neutral rate, we have completed that process tonight, and all of the requirements have taken place. Our capital projects and debt structure, all of our GO bonds, temp notes, and other debts comply with KSA 10-101. The CIP is governed by our charter ordinance number 12, and everything else, our debt service, special assessments, and infrastructure for compliance and the statutes. The budget adoption process, we hold a formal public hearing, and then once the budget is adopted, we will certify this budget with the Sedgwick County Clerk by October 1st, and that would be that. Next, we need to proceed with our next hearing of the evening, so we need to move to open the 2026 proposed budget hearing. Let everybody have public comment, and then you can move to close the 2026 proposed budget hearing, and then move to adopt the budget as you see fit.
I move to open the 2026 proposed budget public hearing. Second?
Second.
Over seconds, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Public hearing number 3. This is more fun than humans should be allowed to have.
Nathan Johnson, 325 West Walnut Court. Actually, I'm just wanting to get just a point of clarification on that, so whenever you get a chance to clarify. And my question comes into the budget, the mill levy that we just voted to increase. Is that 2026 or is that not the 2026?
2026. What we did previously was allow for us to increase the mill levy. So we went above the revenue neutral rate, and the proposed for 2026 budget is that 2 mil increase. That was on the $300,000 home.
Okay, because I saw that, and then I saw the next one.
That's 2027. That's in the projections. That's not anything we're voting on. But it's just
The revenue neutral rate hearing and adoption was to exceed the revenue neutral rate of 32.929. 37.929 is where we were right now. So we want to keep our rate this year and add 2. That is what we're trying to do.
Okay, so I saw the 39, and I
37.
also saw the 41.
37. Our mill rate right now is 37.929 plus
let's
2.
see out here. That's an out.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, sorry for the confusion on that.
We're not voting on that. Anyone else? Going once, going twice. I make a motion to close the public hearing. Any seconds? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Roll call vote.
Need a motion?
Oh, sorry.
I make a motion to adopt the 2026 budget as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any seconds? Roll call.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilmember Leonard?
Yes.
Mayor Lee?
Yes.
Councilmember Trailer?
Yes.
Councilmember Collins?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
How about another public hearing?
You can't wait.
This one's actually already been opened. It was opened at a previous meeting. This is to continue and conduct a public hearing in connection with the advisability of creating the Willows Creek Community Improvement District for electric, and thereafter consider an ordinance creating such district and authorizing a project financing and special assessments. Just some background, you previously received a petition pursuant to KSA 12-6A26 and adopted resolution 2536 of the city containing a time and place of such public hearing and advisability of creating a community improvement district, or CID, for the Willows Ridge addition, the electric portion of it. The general nature of the proposed electric system project within Willows Ridge Community Improvement District electric, the estimated cost of the project, proposed method of financing, proposed amount and method of assessment, if any, and map and legal description. Basically, the previous publication didn't include the required map, and they had to republish, and that's why the public hearing was continued to today. Notice of public hearing was provided. You opened the hearing on August 18th and continued the hearing through today. We can have the public speak again if they'd like to. After such hearing, the City Council may consider and pass an ordinance creating the Community Improvement District, authorizing the electric system project to serve the district, approving estimated costs of such project, and approving the maximum amount and method of assessment, and approving the method of financing the project. If passed, the ordinance will be published in the September 11th, 2025 edition of the newspaper and recorded with the Register of Deeds. Financial, no direct costs in connection with the proceedings except a small publication cost and mailing cost. Process will lead to and result in the issuance of general obligation temporary notes of the city to finance the projects, and later assessment proceedings for project costs, the issuance of general obligation bonds, and provide long-term finance for the project. Legally, including the ordinance have been prepared by Kevin Cowan, bond counsel of Gilmore and Bell, in accordance with the original petition and intent resolution and statute KSA 12-6A26 et sec. And your staff's recommendation is to open and continue the public hearing in connection with the advisability of creating the Willows Ridge Community Improvement District electric, and thereafter consider an ordinance creating such district and authorizing a project and special assessments. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person, and after that, close the hearing, consider the ordinance, waive the reading of the ordinance, and consider the ordinance with a roll call. So I'd ask you to, Mr. Mayor, to please open the continued hearing.
Make a motion that we can open the continued hearing from August. Have a second? Krista seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. This is really kind of a unique issue as it relates to the electric utility that's not Evergy. Who is it? I can't remember. Sedgwick County Electric Co-op. Just how they handle developments is different than the way Evergy does. So this is kind of a standard practice thing. So.
Yeah, this allows you to assess those costs to
Costs
the
to the
electric
electric.
co-op.
All right. So I'm sure everybody's dying to comment on this. Since there are none, I'm going to make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
Krista seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion that we consider waiving the reading of the ordinance. Do I have a second for that? Naomi seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion to consider the ordinance.
Motion to consider the ordinance
Second.
as stated.
This is, okay. We're all getting a little punched, a little late here. Okay. Aubrey's made the motion. Naomi second. Voice vote.
Roll call.
Roll call, as we
Councilmember
say.
Holt,
Yes.
Councilmember Leonard,
Yes.
Mayor Lee,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairley,
Yes.
Councilmember Collins,
Yes.
ordinance 1014.
10-14, motion carries 5-0. Moving on down the line here. High five.
Honorable Mayor and City Council, thank you for the opportunity to bring this item of new business to you this evening. The property annexations for Martin Parcel 1, 2, and Rancho Brook Estates. So you may recall back in July, we adopted a memorandum of understanding with TCRS to secure both Martin parcels as well as the Rancho Brook Estates subdivision. As part of the arrangements, the city provided a forgivable loan to facilitate the purchase of Parcel 1, with the forgiveness contingent on the successful annexation of all 3 tracts, which equates to around 300 acres in the city's growth corridor. On August 28th, which would have been last week, there was a closing on the property, so in accordance with the MOU, all those tracts we will consider receiving and accepting those petitions for annexation this evening. If you look here on my map, you'll see the general area. You've got, let's see, US 54 or Kellogg is down here. Maple Street runs right there where my laser's at. I think the mayor referred to this development earlier, Cypress Glen, north of the mobile home park that's actually in the city of Wichita. Right here's what we call Bridger Maple. This is the Ballman property. Here's Parcel 1 for Martin, Parcel 2 for Martin, and Rancho Brook Estates. Annexation of these properties is consistent with the city's long-term growth strategy, and it builds on prior council actions. The stage annexation process outlined in the July agreement envisions successive petitions following the closing, with TCRS having now met the conditions. Council may proceed with the annexations in a single action. Adopting the annexation ordinance that you saw in your agenda packet will formally incorporate these properties into the corporate city limits of Goddard. The annexation of Rancho Brook Estates will be subject to the agreed upon exemption from mandatory utility connections unless later requested by the owners. This one, financially speaking, we always look at cost-benefit analysis when we take on initiatives such as this. So based on some of the cost runs that we've looked at, when these 3 tracts are fully developed, we're looking at about $830,000 in annual property tax revenue, growing the tax base. Obviously very important to what we're trying to accomplish. So if you look at the legal here, our city attorney, I want to give kudos to Ryan Peck, Morris Lang with his leadership as a partner at the firm there. It took a lot of time and effort from them to get us to this point. So the ordinance they prepared, it's been approved to form annexations comply with Kansas law, and they're supported by the attached owner consent petition. So we got two actions here that staff is recommending to you. One would be to accept the signed petitions, and two would be to adopt the ordinance attached with the roll call vote. I'd be glad to take any questions from the council.
No questions? Questions?
Next step.
Make a motion to accept the signed petitions for annexation of Martin Parcel 1, Martin Parcel 2, and Rachel Brooks Estate.
I second.
Naomi makes the motion, Krista seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And accept the petitions. Next step.
I make a motion to move to adopt the ordinance attached annexing the described properties into the corporate city limits of the city of Goddard.
Second.
Chris has made the motion. Naomi seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mayor, I'm sorry, this one would be a roll
Oh,
call.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
One second here. Point of clarification from city attorney. Should we also have them waive the reading of the ordinance before we adopt it? Apologies, I missed
No, that's
the
fine.
call.
That's
here.
fine. We're good.
So if we
I
could,
move that we waive the reading of the ordinance. Step that in there.
Second.
Seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now let's get ready. Roll call.
Councilmember
We need
Hall.
to make a
Yes.
motion to
Well, we need to remake the motion.
yep, let's read number 2 here.
do number 2.
I make a motion to move to adopt the ordinance attached annexing the described properties into the corporate limits of the city of Goddard.
Second.
Naomi
Second.
seconds. Roll call. Now, we're on track again.
Councilmember Hall.
Yes.
Councilmember Leonard.
Yes.
Mayor Lee.
Yes.
Councilmember Trailer.
Yes.
Councilmember Collins.
Yes.
The ordinance 1015.
10:15. It's about the time, isn't it? No, sorry.
Congratulations, halfway there.
Thank you. Okay. Next item.
Hi. This is a resolution to amend the 10-year capital improvement plan, the CIP, to include Maple Tree paving additions. So this is something that you may see on an ongoing basis, but we already have our first amendment to our capital improvement plan. So one of the things that we're able to do under Charter Ordinance number 12 is anything listed on our CIP is exempt from our debt limit. And so some of the items that we want to put on here, which is included with this Maple Tree paving addition, is any paving or streets can be added to our capital improvement plan from these development projects that we have will not count against our debt limit in that situation. The reason we're not having to do any of the other parts of the petition with Maple Tree is because water and sewer and those other components are exempt from debt limits. So Kansas statute leaves this piece in there. So going forward, anytime we have any additional developments that have paving or streets, we will plan to make an amendment to our CIP and create a schedule of those items separate on our CIP for Kansas statutes. The resolution amends the city CIP to include Maple Tree addition, street and sidewalk improvements. Under KSA 14572, bonds issued for CIP projects are not subject to the city's debt limit. So this will, this is just a new mechanism and technique we plan to use going forward. This has been something that was recommended by our bond council. So I should back up here. Financial considerations. The resolution authorizes the issuance of $1.2 million in GO bonds for the Maple Tree addition, street and sidewalk improvements, which those were the petition amounts that we handled in item 1. The authority is separate and independent from special assessment financing. Temporary notes issued under KSA 14570 and Charter Ordinance number 12, and permanent bonds issued later under special assessment statutes with costs levied to benefiting properties. This has all been prepared. The resolution has been prepared and reviewed by Bond Counsel Gilmer and Bell. So tonight, we would just ask, staff recommends the City Council move to approve this resolution. I'm not sure what the number was, obviously I left that in there. Authorizing certain street and sidewalks improvements, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds of the city to pay such costs, and amending the 10-year capital improvement plan that was approved by resolution number 2529 of the city. What's the resolution number? I don't know, Sarah, sorry.
This will be 2565.
Can I make a motion to approve resolution 2565, authorizing street and sidewalk, certain street and sidewalk issuance, general obligation bonds of the city to pay such costs, and amending the 10-year capital improvement plan that was approved by resolution number 2529 of the city.
Naomi's made the motion, do I have a second?
I second.
Krista seconds, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Keep rolling.
Maple tree
There we go.
again. Okay, this agenda item is the resolution to amend temporary note 2025-4, the authorizing resolution for maple tree petitions. So, the last council meeting, we had the authorizing resolution for all of the other developer projects in the 2025-4 project batch, I guess we want to call it. The Maple Tree was just a week late in getting their petitions to us, or they would have been included in that as well. However, we're not far enough along in the bond side of things that we were able to add this back in. So this is a resolution amending the authorizing resolution to include Maple Tree in that bond issuance is what this is. Adoption of the resolution will result in the Maple Tree Addition improvement projects being financed with no proceeds, along with Bridger at Maple Addition improvements, the villas at Pleasant Ridge Creek improvement, Trails and Second, Third Edition improvements, and Willows Ridge Addition improvements, and therefore minimize the number of temporary note series issued by the city. It's advantageous to put all those together. It reduces cost of issuance and other financing costs. The resolution does authorize and direct the issuance of general obligation temporary notes of the city, but its purpose is to reduce the number of separate series of notes issued by the city by including additional improvement projects to be financed by these notes. Bond Counsel Gilmer and Bell have prepared and reviewed the resolution to ensure full compliance with all applicable statutes. Oops. Sorry. Staff recommends the City Council move to approve resolution
2566.
Thank you. Amending and supplementing resolution number 2553 of the City of Goddard, Kansas, and authorize the offering for sale of general obligation temporary notes series 2025-4 of the City of Goddard.
Questions? Make a recommendation and vote on this thing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I move that we approve resolution, what was the number?
2566.
2553, supplementary resolution of 2553, the city of Goddard, which authorizes the offering of sale of general obligation temporary notes, series 2025-4 of the city of Goddard.
I second.
Humphrey made some motion, Krista seconds, so we got the right ordinance number,
2566.
2566, good. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item I-9 is a resolution to amend the city's banking authority. On September 4th of 2024, almost exactly a year ago, the City Council adopted a resolution authorizing the CFO to conduct the banking on the city's behalf. A revision is needed to keep the city's banking and investment authority current. So As you recall, last year, I brought this to you guys, to allow me to do the banking at all of our different institutions. And specifically, it was for the Kansas Municipal Investment Pool, which required me to do that step. We are getting ready to move some funds from one bank to another bank, and they're requiring a resolution that's updated. The resolution that I've prepared, I've created to make it more generalized, and it doesn't specifically say each banking institution we have today, just in general terms. I haven't listed anything special, other than the Kansas Municipal Investment Pool. I left that one in there. Financial considerations, there are no financial implications associated with this action. The resolution has been reviewed by our general counsel, Ryan Peck. We recommend that you approve the revised resolution authorizing the chief financial officer to manage all city bank and investment accounts on behalf of the city. Acknowledge that all investment decisions will continue to be competitively bid to ensure the best available returns.
I make a motion to approve the revised resolution authorizing the CFO to manage all city bank and investment accounts on behalf of the city, acknowledging that all investment decisions will continue to be competitively bid to ensure the best available returns.
We got a motion. I'll go ahead and second it, and then see if we have any further discussions. No, that's fine. Any questions or discussion?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good, okay. We're good.
Can I do that too fast?
No, you're fine. Perfect. We got a motion and a second on the table. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. We're gaining momentum, 9:25.
Not falling over.
Nice job,
Honorable Mayor and City Council, got the last two items of new business here. I'll try not to be long in the tooth. So we got Everly Trails land purchase option for future water wells. Oh man, it's getting late here. I'm gonna get a little tongue tied. So this one is definitely worth celebrating. A lot of staff, time and effort, legal team, engineering with Harlan. Super thankful that we're able to get to this point. So it's been mentioned a few times that, as our city continues to grow, we obviously need to be well in tune with what our infrastructure needs are. And so early on, when I began my tenure here almost 2 years ago, one of the things that was shared with me was that we need to make sure we have enough water volume in the community. And since then, with the leadership of this city council, and again, our consultants and other members of city staff, we've been able to make some massive leaps in accommodating those concerns. So this is one big one. So we identified through Harlan's expertise a potential site in the reserve area of the Everly Trails Edition. It's near 135th and 13th Street. There were some water rights hanging out in that area. There's potential that through some preliminary hydrological assessments that we could get another 137 million gallons of additional water supply from this location, of course subject to our partnering state agency's approval. It's currently owned by the Everly Trails Patio Homes Owners Association. They have agreed. You have a signed purchase option in your agenda packet to grant the city a purchase option for the site. So this will allow us to do all we need to do to attempt to get KDHE approval. We put an expiration date on that option of December 31st, 2027. We felt that a little over 2 years would give us enough time to make it through all the KDHE hurdles. So we'll have the exclusive right to make that purchase. We can exercise that option to purchase. The trigger will really be getting KDHE sign off. So you've seen a variation of this map earlier this evening. So here will be the new city limits once publication hits, I think on Thursday. Up here is where that 137 additional million gallons of water rights is located. So one other real convenient part of this puzzle is that our partnering agency, Rural Water District number 4, they have a transmission line 200 feet from this well site. We've already acquired easement between a couple houses, a big wide easement, that if we drill these wells, we can put our line right up to their transmission line and start taking this water home. We've got a pump station with Rural Water District, 1,000 gallon a minute, that's currently in construction. So we've been inching this forward for a long time here, all these moving pieces, and so we're super excited to get this really important part of this project done. Uh-oh, it's been too late of a meeting. The clicker is on the fritz. So I mentioned a bit about the options. So KDHE has given us a few items to be weary of. Harlan and our Public Works Director Jason and I, we had a meeting with Burns & McDonnell, one of the larger engineering firms in the company. We're looking at consulting with them to get the KDHE approval. Based on Harlan's assessments, as well as the hydrologists at Burns & Mac, who focus primarily on water-related issues, they don't see any reason why this shouldn't get approved by KDHE. Every concern that has been shared with KDHE are concerns that they feel confident we can mitigate. So that feels pretty good to know that, but it will be complicated, which is why we're bringing in a really large engineering firm to work with our city engineer and our city attorneys to try to get that approval through KDHE. So we got $500 for the consideration of the land auction. As soon as we execute it, if it's approved tonight, we'll owe the HOA another $5,000. And then once we actually exercise the option to purchase, assuming we do between now and December 31st of 2027, then the cost of the property would be $50,000. We won't pay that unless we get the KDHE approval, and then we'll kind of go through the motions of acquiring that. And then we'll have $5,000 of costs at the time of purchase that we will have to reimburse the HOA for attorney and consultant fees, things of that nature. So legally it's approved as to form. I want to give another shout out to our city attorney's office. Carl Swartz with Morris Lang was very integral in getting this across the goal line, working directly with the representatives of the HOA. So it was not easy. It's taken well over a year to get to this point. So the recommendation is simply for the mayor to authorize him to execute the purchase option attached in Exhibit A. And I'd be glad to take any questions.
Any questions? We good?
Yeah, we got a bargain.
It's a deal.
I make a motion to authorize the mayor to execute the purchase option attached in Exhibit A.
Naomi's made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Harmony seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Okay. Last one here, the encroachment agreement for the pipeline near the Goddard Galleria project. So you can see here on my map, we actually got a $2 million grant from the state of Kansas to help finance this road here. We should be in construction in October. One of the outstanding items was this pipeline here. As we get kind of closer to the pipeline, we're going to be encroaching it with some of the stormwater infrastructure, and it requires you to go through this exciting process of getting them to agree that you're allowed to encroach it and you'll follow all their standards. You incur a bunch of legal time and effort to get them to oblige to sharing that easement with you. And so again, a special shout out to our colleagues at Morris Lang who worked on this one. It also took 30 months. So bureaucracy is not always that great, but sometimes I guess it's needed. So there are two encroachment agreements attached. One is with KPC and one's with Phillips 66. The agreements are the same with the exception that the permittor is different on one versus the other. All we're asking you to do is allow the mayor to execute those agreements. That's the last outstanding item to get this project built, and I think our citizens will be very proud of some of the commercial retail opportunities that are going to come behind this Goddard Galleria public infrastructure project. We've already got some that are we're excited to share when we can go public on those in the near future.
And the majority cost of the street came from the $2 million came from
Kansas Department of Transportation.
I make a motion that we approve the pipeline encroachment agreements with Phillips 66 and KPC for public infrastructure improvements at the Goddard Galleria development and authorize the mayor to execute the agreements on behalf of the city.
Crystal's made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
How many seconds? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. What's next? Oh my goodness, we cleared the J.
Mayor, if you don't mind, I kind of have a unwritten policy that if we exceed the 2-hour time limit of the council meeting, that I'll submit my manager's report to you, my administrator's report to you in writing, and it'll be on the website. But there are a few important dates, community events and stuff like that you'll want to pay attention to, so make sure you go check that out in a day or so.
Thank you for that. Do you have any body comments? Brief comments?
This has been a very difficult evening. A lot of difficult decisions being made in our community, and I'll just leave it. I will leave it at that.
Very good. On this side of the desk? Today, comments?
You know, they really have some good biscuits and gravy at the Russell's Bean on weekends, by the way. Just letting you know that. I'm just letting you know that.
Yes, thank
Yeah, see? You agree? That's about it.
Right, it's good to know, I didn't realize that. I'll be there Saturday morning.
You gotta get there early.
How early?
Like, you gotta get it, cause I got there at 8 and they were sold out. I was pissed.
So 7?
And that's 3 batches, so that's 36.
Okay, I'll get there early. My wife won't make it for me, but now I'm gonna get big for
It's all
saying
tracked, so.
You gotta get there before 8, tell you that.
So after tonight, does it come with a shot of whiskey or not?
No, you gotta eat the burritos. Burritos good though.
There's just a lot of, there's a lot of moving parts here. I mean, these decisions are not easy. And so I'll leave it at that as well. Thank you all for coming out and I have faith we're doing the right thing.
Appreciate that. Another day, we will move forward. God's best days are ahead of us. We will continue to be mindful of keeping track and trying to be frugal with our funds. And also take advantage of the opportunities that are before us. So, I want to thank everybody for their input this evening, and I call for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second that. All those in favor say aye. Meeting is closed and dismissed.